Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Madam Speaker, we believe that in our modern days, university and corporations want to receive a good impression from the society and from people, and this is making a problem in the status quo because they are actually seeing the ability. Why? Because they want good impression from the society and from other people, so they are actually picking the smartest people so they can actually develop their corporation and develop their university. This could be solved with our case and with our belief, with grades being the best indicators of potential for one's success. Therefore, the stance coming from the government is simple. We, the government, strongly believe that the grades are the best indicators of potential for one's success. We believe that today's debate is about the value debate. What is the most best indicators for the potential of one's success? So we believe that the grades are the best indicators of potential for one's success. So I may define some few key terms in today's debate. We define grades as you get the report card that you get in school, such as the total grades that you're getting in school, like having subjects, for example, like math, science, and personality and things like that. Also, we define one's success as going to good university, having a good job, and actually living a comfortable life, having money. Also, we also define indicators as the factors. Our government case has three main key arguments. First, about why grades are the best indicators. Secondly, about grades matter for a successful life. And thirdly, my most capable Deputy Prime Minister will go on with our last argument about benefit. So our first argument is about why grades are the best indicators. In this argument, we believe that we should think about the characteristic of grades. We believe that the grades that you get in school, as I just defined, contains not only ability and what you are good at, but the grades actually have the subject of personality that you learn in schools. We strongly believe that grades in today's debate contains ability and personality and things you need for your life, that you need for your future life and your future career, having a good, comfortable life. We believe that the reason why the grades are the best indicators because we believe that the best factor contains everything that you need for your future life. So we believe that the best means most necessary and needed, and we believe that because grades actually contains personality, ability, and things like that, we believe that the grades are the best indicators. Moving on, the second argument is about grades matters for a successful life that you are going to live in the future. So firstly, about the definition of a successful life I just gave. As I just defined what a successful life was, we define successful life as going to good universities, having a good job, and having money and living a comfortable life. The reason why we actually define successful life as this is because being rich, having money can actually make your life comfortable, and you will actually have less burden than poor people. For example, like financial burden. And if you are actually smart enough, then you will actually have less burden than people who are not that smart. Secondly, we are actually going to talk about why grades actually do matter. We also define grades as the school report card that you get in elementary school, middle school, and high school. We believe that our government case believes that because these report cards, because there are lots of report cards coming from time to time, we believe that these universities and corporations can actually see the development of these students and these people, and also we believe that as I keep on saying, which contains not only ability but personality that is really needed. We believe that for the corporation and university, we believe that ability is actually needed, but we believe that there should also be personality, because if people are really smart, if the person is really smart, but if their personality is bad, then we believe that this is a big problem, because we believe that personality is also a very important factor in the status quo. So what have I told today? I told our first two arguments are firstly about why grades are the best indicators, and secondly about grades matter for a successful life. Now I will leave this debate in our hands of our most capable Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you.
Mr. and Madam Speaker, when we talk about these kind of motions, such as like TOEFL writing topics, we believe that it is important to actually characterize what is the meaning of success, and therefore we would like to today prove why grades are not going to be an objective standard of success opposing to the government side. We have 3 arguments to support our stance. First, why the grades are not on the objective standards of success. Second, society does not consider grades as a standard. And third, it will give negative influence to society afterwards. Now, but before I go on to my arguments, let me rebut to what they have actually said. Well, first of all, they said that grades are actually going to evaluate those kind of personalities and the communication level. However, first of all, we believe that it is actually impossible to say your personality is A or your personality is C, as they mentioned that it is going to become like a report card. And also, we believe that it is being personality and communication levels are actually subjective, so some teachers might think that that person is actually like have good personality, but some might not, and therefore we believe that their point itself that grades can actually consider those personalities and communication levels are absurd from the first place. And going on to my second rebuttal, they said that grades are the best indicators and being successful is going to good universities and having much money. However, we believe that what the definition of being success is doing what you actually like and actually having the best life you can enjoy, because we believe that there are still many people that have lots of money and do such as like doctors, but they don't enjoy their life, and therefore we believe that that point also does not stand in today's debate. No, thank you. Now, going on to my debate. Go on to the arguments. We believe that first of all, let me characterize what success is and what best indicators is. We believe that being a best indicator is actually in overseeing if that person is going to success or not, and we would like to define success as to doing what you like in your future and exposing your personal abilities to the society. However, we believe that grades cannot be subjective indicators, because every people have different abilities and every people have different things that you're always good at, and we believe that what grades are majorly based on is lots of things such as knowledge and like knowing things, knowing lots of information. However, we believe that what we actually need to consider when the person is succeeding or not is first of all like things such as creativity and social communication skills and cooperation skills. Now we can see, and like for an example, people like Pablo Picasso was first not actually recognized by the society because all of the people thought that like art should be like creating like the thing that is more realistic. However, we believe that that was wrong, because we now consider that Pablo Picasso was actually creative, and since they are only based on those kind of reality facts, we could not consider it well. And also we believe that people such as Helen Keller, even though Helen Keller could not have good grades, we believe that since Helen Keller could have good social communication skills, and Helen Keller could actually have a speech that like makes sympathy for everyone, that is why we believe that those kind of people that could succeed in success. So going on to the second argument, we would like to, done with the logic of what we believe, we would like to elaborate on like what the society is now considering as a standard. Well, if in the first place we believe that if society actually considers grades, we believe that the university should only actually pick people by how they do in the KSAT, and such companies should only pick people by what kind of universities they went, and lots of kind of tests when they are entering. But that is not the case. When we do some things like interviews between the company and the person that wants to go into the company, we actually consider lots of things such as creativity or like voluntary work, and there are still lots of kind of factors that society considers now. And ladies and gentlemen, do you recognize that the person that didn't get anything wrong in KSAT couldn't go to the medical university inside the Seoul National University? This is actually happening because the society does not consider like grades as the indicator, and therefore we believe that since we have proved that there is a logic, and since the society also considers as grades cannot be a standard, therefore we are supremely proud to oppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's side opposition is stating something wholly unreasonable. A person couldn't go to Seoul University because they had although they had good grades. Well, we believe that the reason for this is lack of spec. We believe that you should choose like government with a more constructive case, that we will look at grades in school, report cards that have every factor from math to science and English to behaviors or comments of teachers. As Deputy Prime Minister of this debate, it is my duty to present our third and final argument and pinpointed the flaws given by side opposition. Now before I move on to our third and final argument, I wish to look over what the opposition has tried to say. Our first argument was related to characteristic of grades, and that school report cards have not only test grades, but grades related to personality. The opposition has tried to say that it is impossible to say personality as a report card. Well, we have clearly defined that grades as school report cards, and that grades have from everything to math and science, or school test grades to behaviors and comments of teachers. So we believe that personality is definitely in the report card. Our second argument was related to characteristics of universities and jobs, and nowadays university and jobs do look at personality, but mostly look at specs and grades. Side opposition has rebutted that success is really doing what you want. Well, the process we agreed to some extent that success is really doing what you want and entering being a good employee and having a lot of money. We agree to some extent that success is doing what you want and succeeding and living prosperously. Well, however, the process required for doing what you want is good skills and good grades, which helped you to exceed to what you want. Now, I wish to pinpoint the first 2 points given by the first speaker of side opposition. Side opposition's first argument was related to why grades are not standard of success. Well, however, we believe that teachers be with the students for a whole year, and teachers do know your personality, and they check their personality accurately on the report card. We believe that report cards have everything from grades to personality, so we believe that this should be the real spec used in entering universities, and we believe that it is the real source to test the potential of one. Our second argument was related to that the society does not accept grades. However, and they have told us that best life is something one could enjoy. However, we believe that comfortable life is a life people enjoy. Why are grades not objective and standard? It's because success is what one wants to do. Grades cannot be as objective. Students have different abilities. And also the definition of success that the opposition gave us is totally hilarious. If a student wanted to be a poor person, if the student did, can this be a successful life, ladies and gentlemen? We don't think so. Also, what the society is considering as a standard is, as our Prime Minister is clearly characterizing the status quo, grades do matter. Now I wish to move on to the third and final argument related to benefits. I like to divide our argument into 2 levels of analysis. First of all, motivation. Indicating potential based on student grades will motivate students to study harder because all students will want to advance to the highest level they want. The existence of difference in quality of life due to grades will motivate even low-level students to study hard and move to intermediate level to advanced level. Advanced level students will want to maintain their status. Under our model, all students will feel a need and motivation to study, which is why education becomes better. All students will feel that their needs have been met, and also would allow for students to truly develop their intellectual and academic interests and capabilities. This leads to better results, as our second analysis is. A student will start as low-quality students, and they will work hard. This will lead to another good result of good university. Well, this will also lead to a result of good job. And the student will eventually become a functioning member of a society, thus a citizen who supports a nation state. So what have I said today? I have presented our third and final argument related to benefits, and that good grades testing potential will give motivation to students, and the students will truly develop and become a functional member of a society. I have pinpointed the flaws given by side opposition, and I leave no doubt in taking this debate home, and I am extremely proud to close. Thank you.
So, Mr. Madam Speaker, we the opposition believe that the government's point is actually ignoring these children's standard of their own, which we believe that is very important to say is a very successful life. So as the Deputy Leader of Opposition, I'd like to rebut some of the points from the previous speaker. So they firstly rebutted that the behavior comments from the teachers can be actually shown by the report cards. However, this is very flawed because the comments are very subjective. Because these comments are from the teachers saying the teachers can have different thoughts by their own, so that therefore these kind of behavior comments are not actually effective to show a potential of children's successful life. And secondly, they rebutted that they agree to the standard of successful life, but however, doing what a student wants requires the grades. However, this is totally again wrong because doing what you want doesn't actually require the grades, because for example, if someone wants to be an athlete, that doesn't really require grades. It requires their ability and their kind of skills in the athletes. Therefore, their points are very flawed. And thirdly, they rebutted that the teachers know the children's personality because they have been there for 1 year. However, that doesn't stand because we can't actually test the creativity or kind of personality, because I just previously stated that the teacher's points are very subjective, and also the creativity can't be tested or personality can't be actually shown in the report card, such as ABC, because some people have pep problems in this kind of part, but some are very good, and the other kind of factors. Therefore, the personality can't be shown in the grade. And also, they lastly rebutted that the comfortable life is being successful, so there needs to be the grades for the students. However, this is again flawed because people have different standards and students have different standards of being successful. Some would want to go to harsh places and go to venturing to the mountains or the caves, which they think is successful. However, the comfortable life is just objective and it's totally wrong and too subjective from the government side. So the last argument from the government bench was about that there will be benefits and the students will have more incentives and motivation to study harder, but there will be more abuses in this kind of places, which I will explain in the last argument. So the last argument from our opposition case is that there is no long-term benefits for the children and also to the society. So first of all, when the government's policy determines one by grades, the students will do anything to get good grades because obviously they want to consider to be successful under the government's policy. Because of this, abuses will totally increase. Cheating will make one success, so that there is a high incentive for the students to cheat. And this never allows students to success in the society. The government policy is making students to study for the short term only for the test, thus causing severe competition. There is a clear evidence in the status quo. For example, as Korea, there's Korean students struggles with the test scores, and also their scores determine their successful life. However, there are also tons of other abuses, such as lobbying to the teachers, which doesn't actually make the Korean students actually success. And also, this never gives a good influence to students. They study really hard, but it's no use later, since they have other things they are interested in, so it's a waste of time. The government's responsibility in education is to allow students to do what they want in the future, but this blocks the opportunity of one's choice. The government policy is very wrong. And when this happens, it also gives a negative influence in the society, because no one will be able to do what they want, and no one will be able to present their uniqueness in the society. So it's obvious when all citizens goes to normal companies and with no profession is a problematic situation where there is no really actually people who have their professions in the society which have a very problematic situation. So what I told you, Mr. Madam Speaker, is that I have rebutted to the government's points, which talks about two subjective points that the report cards can show the creativity and the personality. But we, as our leader of opposition, we told you that this is very problematic, and therefore I'm very proud to oppose.
Today in this debate, we had a completely irresponsible opposition that kept on talking about how grades are unimportant and how the universities do not really accept grades. So as the government I would like to clarify the two clashes I found in today's debate. The first one about the importance of ability and grades. The second clash about creating a good educational society.
So ladies and gentlemen, we believe that we see grades not only as your ability grades and also your personality grades. When the opposition talked about how personality is impossible to grade, ladies and gentlemen, we are not saying that we would grade the grades of these personality grades of these students from A to B to C. However, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to grade this personality by the comments of the behavior or how much they respect their friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that teachers are smart enough to differentiate the difference between personality and ability, and they can see whether this person has a good personality, whether this person has an enough amount of respect or not. So we believe this is the first reason why opposition was flawed in the start of today's debate. Ladies and gentlemen, when universities pick people or accept people, we believe they look at your report cards and how you behaved in school, the teacher's comments about your personality, and also comments about your respect. When universities look at this, and when the whole government looks at this when they accept you at companies, this can show us that this is an important factor in education, and this is an important factor of doing something. And ladies and gentlemen, when they kept talking about how students will only study for a short term, we believe that they will study hard continually because this will judge their potential. And moving on to the second clash I found in today's debate, about creating a good educational society.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am?
So we believe that if the test and the scores actually determines one's potential of success, they'll actually only study for the test and not for the long terms.
However, ladies and gentlemen, like I have already told you, report cards also contain how much you respect someone or how much you listen to the teacher, your behavior in class, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that they'll also focus on personality, not only about getting good test scores. And ladies and gentlemen, we believe that when we judge or evaluate potential depending on grades or report cards, we believe that these students will be incentivized and motivated to study hard. This will create a better educational society. And when they talked about success, about how success is doing what you want, then ladies and gentlemen, if you become a garbage man and if that's what you really want to do, can we really call this success? We believe that success is being able to live a comfortable life without a lot of financial burden and without social burden. And moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that about the subjective comments, how the teachers, when teachers write comments in their report card, they talked about how these comments are all subjective. However, like I already told you, this judges personality in the academic environment. So they look at how you behave in class, they look at your grades, and also, ladies and gentlemen, they also look at how you can really fit well in that group and how you treat your friends. And ladies and gentlemen, even if we exclude these personality grades out of your report card, we still believe that good grades indicate that these students have a good habit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you receive good grades, this means that you study well. Then this shows us that you have a good studying habit and you have a good educational habit. And also moving on, ladies and gentlemen, well, when you talk about grades, the cooperation of university will see the grades that is related with the person they count. So for example, if a cooperation and a scientist is there, they will see the subject science in the report cards, ladies and gentlemen. So we believe that for these reasons, opposition cannot take this debate home, and I am extremely proud to propose. Thank you.
Mr. and Madam Speaker, the first clash that I found in today's debate is about which standard can best indicate the potential of success. They said grades that appear on report cards can best indicate the potential. However, first of all, they said personality will be graded. However, first of all, we don't get how personality can be graded, because when it is graded, it's very subjective, because what is the teacher to decide which personality gets which grade? Some teacher might say being enthusiastic is the best personality, and others may say that just being quiet in class is the best personality. Therefore, we believe this subjective standard that is very different according to the taste of the teachers is very unfair for the students. And secondly, we believe personality is written on comments in the status quo. However, first of all, how can this be graded by an employer? We believe if the comments say that this person is good in school, we believe that cannot be a standard for deciding if this person is successful or not. And grades and tests. We believe this cannot also decide the potential of success, because if this is, students will have to focus only on getting good grades in schools, so they cannot pay attention to finding what they like. And we believe, as our stance proves, doing what they do best and what they like leads to a happy life. And they again said that if a garbage man is, if someone likes to be a garbage man, is that a happy life? However, we believe this is a happy life. If they feel good picking up trash, it is a successful life, as they define successful life as living happily. And we believe feeling good about one's job and one's career is also living happily. And they said good grades show good habits, because, however, we disagree, because as our deputy leader of opposition told you, if they only focus on tests, it will create abuse and other things like cheating or bribing to the teachers. So we believe our standard, which is that doing what they do best and what they like, is the best standard for indicating the potential of success. And secondly, can they live a happy life according if we follow the government logic? They define successful life as living happily, and we believe living happily is doing what they like. However, they said it is having a lot of money and living comfortably. Well, we believe this can also. We also believe that this can lead to richer life, but is it really successful if they're doing what they don't want? And they said going to good university and having a good job, and that leads to happy life because they earn a lot of money. However, who are you to draw the line here? Many famous artists were poor. However, can we say that they were unsuccessful? We believe a successful life has a subjective standard according to their logic, and it is different according to the children. They can't be happily ever after if they are forced to have a choice and their opportunities limited just to follow their grades. Thus, the standards are different because they have different thoughts and their course of future. Not all children want to live comfortably with tons of money. As the deputy leader of opposition told you, some find danger and even adventure and lives happily, and some volunteers for the elders volunteer and they don't earn a lot of money, but they still find happiness. When the standards are very different according to personality and what that person is, the government policy is we believe the government policy is useless. And they said their policy will actually motivate students to study. However, we believe the wording should be different. Actually, their policy forces students to spend all their time on tests, and this will lead to severe competition, and many people even commit suicide for this. And can we say that suffering for this much competition and even committing suicide is a happy life and a successful life? We believe their logic doesn't make any sense. And we believe it's just a waste of time if a student spends all their time doing what they don't even like, and we believe that is why I'm proud to oppose.
Mr. and Madam Speaker, we believe that today the opposition clearly wins today's debate because of two reasons. First of all, they have misunderstood the capability of report cards, and second of all, they cannot justify it is a successful life, even by their definition. Now, going on to the first point, they're saying that like report card is so multitaskable that it will actually reflect all of the things that are happening in the school's life. But however, we believe that this point is actually not clear, because we believe that if the report card is something that will evaluate the students' life, we believe that the teachers will have a massive burden to actually make the students' report cards really good or really flashy. And in the status quo, everybody in my class have gotten a good report card, and teachers have always make a good comment because they believe that it will influence the students' life afterwards. And we believe that people change when times won't go. So we believe that we cannot see the personality of people who is now going to the university by the report card of the elementary school, and therefore we believe that report card is not the capacity of report cards cannot clear up all of those kind of points. Going to the second point, we believe that people will be so obsessed with those kind of issues and with those kind of report card issues, and will create more bad negative effects to negative effects to the society, because we believe that they will only focus on getting the good report cards, because they will tend to believe that getting good report cards is the success of life. And therefore, what the definition by the government side is like going to the good universities and having good money is actually successing. But do you know that the daughter of Samsung, Lee Gun-hee, the CEO, has actually suicided? We believe that if that definition is true, there won't be any kind of situation where rich people is actually suiciding or having a bad life. Therefore, we believe that all of the definitions were flawed, and all of those rebuttals and arguments are all flawed, and therefore we believe that the EFL rounds goes to the government team.
Thank you, opposition reply speaker. And now I'd like to call upon the last speaker of the EFL finals, the
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Madam Speaker, today in today's debate, I found a double standard that the opposition actually told us. So, first of all, the leader of the opposition actually defined successful life as enjoying life, but then the deputy leader of the opposition actually stated that the standard of successful life is all different from people to people. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the leaders of opposition's definition with successful life and deputy leader of opposition definition with successful life was totally different. We believe that we believe that this was a double standard that the opposition was fought. So I have 5 questions that I will actually talk about. First of all, the purpose of the school report card as we define grades. So honorable adjudicators, with the opposition's logic, why is school report card even existing in the status quo? If it cannot characterize how much your personality is, why is there school report cards? We believe that teachers are actually spending 1 year with these students, and they do know, because they know what is happening with them and what's the problem with these students. With their logic, we can choose nothing because everything is different whether the people think. Secondly, about the definition of successful life. With the opposition's logic, if poor people do like to spend their lives poor, and if they enjoy living poor, then we believe that we can actually say that a successful life. We believe that this may not hold. The reason why we actually define the successful life as comfortable life was because like going to good universities and like having good jobs were only one part of it. We believe that successful life is actually having a comfortable life, and comfortable life. Thirdly, they said about teachers have different opinion and standard, but also with their logic, teachers cannot even grade the whole report card and know their ability. So for example, some teachers think 65 is a good test score, but some teachers think that it's a bad test score. We believe that with their logic, we can do nothing in the status quo. Lastly, they said about like the studying for the text about like these problems, but we believe that they talked about the competition. But as I said in the Prime Minister's speech, because there are report cards from elementary school to high schools, these corporations and universities can actually know the developments of these things. We believe that students can actually get a good report card when they actually participate and concentrate in school life. So we believe that the government should take today's debate. Thank you.